This podcast discusses true crime, which may entail violence and other material intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, welcome back to A Little Wicked podcast on YouTube. So if you have not seen any of our other videos, my name is Kayla, and I normally host a podcast called A Little Wicked with my friend Lexi. On A Little Wicked, we talk about true crime, cults, conspiracies, cryptids, urban legends, and everything in between. So you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and really anywhere you find podcasts, you can find us. So if you want to hear more banter and more discussion, be sure to go find us and subscribe. But since you're here, we're going to talk about a cult today. The cult is called Love Has Won. This one's a little bit of crazy. Okay, it's a lot of bit of crazy. So the ideologies and remarks of this cult and what is perpetuated by this cult is not the views of this show whatsoever. There will be mentions of anti-Semitism that may be offensive to some listeners, so if you don't want to hear that, that's fine. We'll see you at the next episode. So this group advertises itself as a group of love and believing in the power of ascending the soul to the fifth plane of existence, opening to your higher self and believing in the power of Mother God, who is in the form of a woman named Amy Carlson. They make products of essential oils, crafts, and services of ethereal surgeries, and they claim to try to open humanity to a better understanding of the world around them and to open their minds to not accepting things at face value. They run a Facebook page that has 20,000 followers and a YouTube channel with around 10,000 subscribers, along with having other social media platforms. They post daily videos trying to invite people to their cause and awaken their minds. So, what's so bad about this group? Let's start with Amy Carlson. She was born November 30th, 1975, and grew up in Dallas, Texas. She grew up as a straight-A student, very social, and was a very sweet person, and was the eldest of 3 sisters. When she was an adult, she moved to Houston. She was in the church choir, very popular and charming, and known to just kind of hang out in the background. She had 3 children and had turned into a successful district manager for McDonald's. Her family would notice her behavior start to change in the mid-2000s when she started delving into New Age beliefs such as spiritualism, divination, and finding your higher self, and becoming distant from them and her own children. Later, her mother would say, she wasn't very maternal. She just didn't have that warmth. She had no problem leaving her children with other people. Amy started frequenting online forums, chat rooms, and websites such as lightworkers.org, which, by the way, is full of seeds of conspiracies that could affect those who are easily impressionable. On these types of forums, she met a man who went by the name Amaranth White Eagle. She would later call him her twin flame. For those not familiar with spiritual terms, a twin flame is someone who is considered your other half and you have a deep spiritual connection. Not necessarily romantic soulmates, and you can be considered a mirror image of each other. Some think that you can have more than one twin flame, Others think that each person only has one twin flame. He would be her first twin flame and the first father god when she became mother god. Amy would go on to have other father gods as she told her followers that the spirit of Father God was too large to occupy only one vessel. Amaranth would fill her head with ideologies of her being a deity and would be needed to help heal the earth and humanity. Their beliefs were nothing original. So reading numerology, meditation, basic New Age spirituality belief system, but taken to a higher degree to the point of extremism. On September 1st, 2007, Amy claimed to hear voices and violins playing in her head that were telling her that she was destined for great things, such as being President of the United States. Later, on December 10th, 2007, when she was 45 years old, she wrote a letter to her family saying, she released her 3D relationship from her husband and kids and left with her mountain men to Crestone, Colorado. Later, when confronted about this, she stated, for me, I did not abandon my children. I begged my angels. I didn't want to leave, but they told me I had to fulfill my mission, and I had to make a jump, and I had to make a decision. Now, Crestone is a perfect place for people with their beliefs and ideologies. It has many belief systems in one area, such as Hinduism, and monasteries to more New Age beliefs, such as spiritualists, UFO enthusiasts, and healers, who think that the area is full of higher energy where portals and communication with higher beings can be made. Crestone is where they would start gathering followers to help them ascend to the fifth plane with Mother God. Amy would preach a mixture of topics such as angels, higher beings, past lives, and raising your vibration. Everything she spoke of, she learned from forums, chat rooms, and New Age writings. But she only spoke about them as to how she understood the material and would preach it as fact to those who would listen. So let's get into the ideologies a little bit and her main purpose. Amy believed that she was a 19 billion-year-old supreme being that had lived 534 lifetimes. Some of them were as Jesus, Marilyn Monroe, Cleopatra, and the Joan of Arc. She claims to remember the pains and joys of every life, including being hung on the cross as Jesus. This was discussed on the Dr. Phil episode, which would be linked in the show notes. And he did the math for her claims. He did it as if every life was roughly 50 years long. This would equal 26,700 years of life, which is well before Jesus. So her math was not adding up. She said that it is correct. Her followers truly believe this concept and that she is the creator of everything. Amy claims to have a close relationship with the spirit of Robin Williams, and she regularly seeks spiritual guidance from him. Be crazy as you want, you don't got to bring Robin Williams into it. That's just my piece. She also claims to have lived in Lemuria as queen before its fall, and Donald Trump was somehow her father. So Lemuria is a proposed theory of a lost continent that may have sunk, kind of similar to the Atlantis ideology. Another belief of this group is that it is Amy's responsibility to cleanse the earth and all of humanity of any and all negative energies and vibrations. Their doctrine states that her body is acting as a filter for the earth's negative energies, and suffering and would physically play onto her body as pain and illness. This led to them believing that if she died, the whole planet will die. Her main goal is to have 144,000 followers go into the fifth plane of existence with her, and anyone left behind would be destroyed one way or another. Believers would be transported by starships during the ascension, and non-believers would be moved to a central galactic sun or turned into rocks. Your physical body would go with you into the fifth plane, so no one would have to die. Amy would also ascend by either a starship or through a portal in the ocean. Now, the main enemy is the Cabal. To them, the Cabal is a global organization that is determined to keep humanity at a low vibrational state, whether that's violence in the world or against Mother God herself. The Cabal can be actual beings such as the government or conspiring groups, to a group of reptilian beings or the Anunnaki, an ancient type of extraterrestrial and or Sumerian deities that is also tied to the Illuminati in order to control the world. They claim that the Cabal is orchestrating the dark sham that is modern life, in which everything from wars to mass shootings and pandemics are all illusory, engineered to keep humanity in this state of fear. And if that does not set the mood for this, then I don't know what will. According to followers, over the years of Love Has Won, the Cabal would have attempted to kill Mother God over 600 times and has failed each and every time. And Ashtar Command is a group that worked with UFO enthusiasts. Ashtar Command is an extraterrestrial law enforcement that would save humanity. This idea ventures back to the 1950s. So January 14th, 2009 would mark the beginning of their YouTube channel. Their daily videos start out as them voicing over videos of clouds, saying that they are hidden starships that would take them away one day. A lot of their videos at the beginning are just them messing around and talking about ascending. The videos would go on to be Amy discussing her teachings with her followers, and at this point, she had only a handful. Her relationship with Amaranth White Eagle eventually ended after a few years, and she started a new relationship with her next twin flame, Michael Lamboy, aka Archangel Michael Silver. So a little bit about Michael Lamboy, aka Michael Silver. Michael had joined with Amy in 2014 at 35 years old and was the first member of Love Has Won. This is when Amy truly stepped into the deity role in perpetuating the previously mentioned beliefs onto followers and group members. So this is when it became a whole thing. When he joined her, he claimed that he had end-stage lung cancer and was already missing a lung, but she cured him and had been with her ever since. Other followers support this claim, and Michael quickly stepped into a leadership role and took control of the finances of the group that would accrue. Michael is the one who made the group a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization in 2019, And he also helped the group to open its own business, which we'll discuss later. Don't worry about that. It is believed that Amy gave up the control over money in order to focus on the spiritual aspect of the group and not so much the nitty-gritty finance part. So, about her followers and YouTube. Over the next few years, the group would become to be known as Love Has Won, who claimed to spread love everywhere they went, and the earth and humanity needed to spread love as well. The YouTube channel started out with Mother God and Father God discussing teachings, and as time went on, her teachings became more original to her instead of copy-paste from forums. Between the years of 2014 to 2018, they would obtain followers through the internet or in person. So there were at least 12 to 28 full-time members that lived with them. There were many others on the internet. Her followers would make claims of healing, and one follower, Archaea Faith, had said that when Mother God was 4 to 5 years old, she was talking to angels. Her parents had taken her to churches for advice and help, but during one of the pastor services, she yelled, "You're lying," and her family denies that ever happening. YouTube videos started out with Amy and Father God talking about teachings and grew into followers doing daily live streams for hours, talking about the cabal, how Mother God is filtering the earth, and discussing conspiracies against the human race. So, about their store that I told you we would talk about, Gaia's Whole Healing Essentials. This is the business that Michael had helped to open. They sold products and services online and advertised them on the live streams. Some of the products they sell are essential oils, plasma oils, candles, pyramids, crystal school opportunities, guides on how to teach your higher self, neuropathy healing calls, colloidal silver, gold, platinum, copper, and other metals that you most definitely should not ingest, do not ingest these, and etheric surgeries. Etheric surgeries are a type of remote healing that would be done by Mother God. She claimed to be able to perform surgeries on the spirit of people for any illness or pains that they had. On Dr. Phil's episode of her, she claimed to have done over 100,000 surgeries on people. He again did the math and said that she would have to do hours of it a day in order to have reached that number, to which she still insisted was the truth. On their site, they also have an ascension guide that I read, and you're going to have to go to their site if you really want to read it. It's very out there, very much out there. So it starts out going through the true story of Earth, which entails the story of Mother God living in Lemuria, that is in 5D consciousness, tens of thousands of years ago, with Donald Trump as her father, and the Cabal attacks them after Atlantis blows up the timeline between them and Lemuria. You see, Atlantis was in 3D vibrations and tried to get to the 5D, but they couldn't handle the tool and just blew everything up, causing Mother God to transcend and leave everyone until now. There is a lot more, but it's much. The guide also goes into describing ego, edging God out. The idea of ego is that it is the opposite of love and causes disease and negativity on humanity. They discuss the chakras, but they have the actual meanings of each chakra completely wrong compared to official teachings and the knowledge of them. There are tools and methods to ascending as well. So, one of them is to smoke organically rolled cigarettes. Boxed and pre-rolled have been weaponized and cannot help ground you. This part of the guide mentions that illness is only caused by negativity, nothing else. What else you can do is have coffee. This part also says that heart disease and high blood pressure are brought on by energetic imbalances, as are all illnesses. You can also eat red meat at least 1 to 2 times a week, as animals have agreed to help humanity to transcend to the next plane. This is a direct quote that I could not reword and do justice. Quote, "Veganism is a pain-based belief system, as all pain and suffering is illusionary. Part of the ego-programmed mind, designed to lower vibration. Vegans are heavy in the energy signatures of judgment, thinking you know better, control, needing to be right." End quote. Their next piece of advice is stay hydrated. This is the one piece of advice that I am allowing you to believe in, because you need to stay hydrated. I don't think you're going to ascend, but that one's one piece of good advice. Another tool is the Golden Rainbow Sword. So if you have a negative thought, you got to think of the sword and slice the thought out of your brain. All you have to do is imagine it and then slice it out. What else you can do is a pineal physical cleanse by eating a clove of garlic every day for 7 days. They say it is a good antibiotic and to use in place of medicine, as all medicine has been weaponized. This, along with turmeric and apple cider vinegar, cannabis oil, which helps with the awakening process, and, of course, the almighty coconut oil. Scoop said oil into your mouth and swish around, which, by the way, coconut oil doesn't swish, it's thick, for about 15 to 20 minutes. 1 scoop a day helps to clear most infections and detoxify the body. I'm all for coconut oil in your hair, but a lot of people use it as a cure-all, and we're not here to talk about that. And another thing you can do is take a cold shower. Suffer through it, it's for the ascension. You can also sun gaze, because nothing can go wrong if you just stare at the sun. It's the best healing method. This guide claims that the sun hurting your eyes is a myth used to prevent us from getting important codes from the sun. Quote, as the sun enters your eyes, it burns away the darkness within you, end quote. Or it's just burning your corneas. But what do I know? I have not ascended. Sleeping for only 3 to 5 hours a night as Mother God does, but you can only sleep when she's asleep. And these are things they consider to be part of ego. Not all of them, but these are just a few that made me go, what in the world? So, attachment to people, places, or things, childhood trauma, childish things, thinking you need to be right, fantasy, needing to be right, lack of beauty, wanting to follow or be followed, which this part is hypocritical because that's what the whole group is about, is being followed, addicted to sugar, being ungrateful, being controlling, reverence to animals, justification, bargaining, procrastination, identification of things outside. I don't know what that means. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Princess conditioning, asshole conditioning, douchebag conditioning, bitch conditioning, and gay conditioning. Again, I don't know what these mean. These are all on their website. You gotta ask them. You can comment all you want asking what it is. I got nothing. Being easily distracted, white trash programming, and bloodlust. They are also expected to live celibate lives. So if you think that was a lot, then you must not have what it takes to be part of this cult, which is good. In 2018, a new father god had come to replace Michael. Her new twin flame was Jason Castillo. Jason grew up in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and he claimed that when he was a child, he would stare at the photo of Jesus, who was myself. For 20 years, he had a wife and 4 children that he called his 3D family. He had a history of drug abuse in 2007, and he has since claimed to be clean. In 2013, he had discovered Love Has Won and started virtually following Mother God and the group. After a few years of talking to his family about how Jesus was a woman and his interest in the group, he finally left to physically join them. In August 2020, at this point they had roughly 200 followers. 14 members had moved with Mother God and Father God to set up in Kauai, a Hawaiian island. They lived in a beachfront rental in Wainiha. Amy had declared herself as Pele to the locals. Pele is the goddess of fire, volcanoes, lightning, and is considered the creator of the Hawaiian Islands. Unsurprisingly, the natives of the island did not appreciate her cultural appropriation and false claim of being their creator. Her claims had brought groups of rioters, which was greater than 100 people, outside of their rental house. The rioters had destroyed the car that Love Has Won bought for Mother God and had started small fires on the property. So, side note, do not go to Hawaii and insult the locals by calling yourself their creator. That's insane. There is a news video of them verbally harassing the group as they were leaving, yelling, "Get out of here, we don't want you here." The following week, Mayor Derek Kawakami stated that he would not guarantee their safety. In response, Amy made a live stream video saying, "Fuck off, I'm Pele bitch, don't push me." The group lived in Hawaii for a few months and tried to relocate to another island, but were intercepted for making reservations in an unapproved location and were sent back to Colorado. 2 of her followers that frequently make live streams, Hope and Faith, stated in a later video that the Hawaiians only reacted that way out of being in shock of their creator being in their presence. Now, I have to disagree with that. I think they were livid that a woman from the United States, they were livid that a woman just claimed to be their creator. That's very offensive. And that is part 1 of Love Has Won. If you guys want to hear part 2, you're going to have to come back next week. And it's going to get crazier. So if you liked my video, please give me a like and subscribe. You can also subscribe to our podcast where there's, again, more banter between Lexi and I and more discussion. So thank you again for coming. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.